I'm your host, Brian Drago, where today I'll be talking with James Jefferson about the Packers. You guys might recognize him from one of the videos of Jordan Love's mom last year in Chicago. That's him. He's just not wearing his cheese head. I want to give a shout out to the Ope Network for giving me the opportunity to do a podcast under their umbrella. Once they hit 523 followers, they will be giving away an 8x10 Jair Alexander autograph picture. And let me check here. I didn't check and see what they're at yet for followers. They are at 471, so that means 52 more followers, and then they'll be giving away that picture. So, James, can you tell us about yourself?
Well, as y'all know, I'm the biggest Packers fan around. Recent college graduate as of 2 years ago from DePaul.
Okay.
2 years ago, actually, this week. Yeah, this week.
Okay.
Communications and media major. So sports is my passion, no matter what.
What sports? Any sports?
Football, basketball, baseball, you name it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been finding myself just watching mainly football and basketball, but like I said before, I've watched more. I'm up in Green Bay, so I've been a Brewers fan. I think I've watched more Brewers games this year than I have in the last 10 years. It's just something on TV, something to keep me occupied, something to kind of clear the mind, and that's awesome.
And they've been playing quite well, actually.
Yeah, they are. They got smoked today. The last I checked, they were down 10-0. That was like an hour or so ago, or a couple of hours ago. But you'll have bad games every once in a while in baseball. It's a long season. So, well, as I said in the introduction, people might recognize you from last year against the Bears. How is I mean, obviously you can just tell she's a nice woman. How is Jordan Love's mom? I'm sure you had a chance to talk with her. And
oh, she's awesome.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I didn't even know it was her. And so people would call me and text me saying, "Hey man, you're in front of Jordan Love's mother, right?" I really had no idea.
Right.
So it was a nice surprise.
Yeah.
I just bought tickets just to check, just to go to the game, but we really didn't realize it until later.
Yeah, that picture you was priceless. Like, you're just sitting there, you just look ecstatic, and you're on your phone. How was your phone that day? How fast did you go out of your battery?
Oh Lord. It went pretty fast.
Yeah. I'm sure your phone was just blowing up, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Did you have a chance to watch the game?
Yeah, I did. Sure did.
Yeah, that's awesome that you got a chance to, you didn't know it going into the game, but that come to find out that you're sitting right in front of his mom. That's awesome. So we saw how the Packers did last year, halfway through the season. That finally clicked, and they just started playing really good ball. What are your thoughts on what they addressed in the offseason as far as the new defensive coordinator, switching to a 4-3, and what they did in the draft as far as who they picked?
Let me start off by saying, praise God they got rid of Joe Barry.
Yeah.
I was waiting on that day I've waited on that day for so long.
Right.
I'm so glad they let him go. I like Jeff Hafley from what I've read and seen. I think he's going to be I mean, it will obviously take some time for the team to switch, philosophies and be able to be comfortable with it. But with the dogs they have on this team, Jair, Kenny Clark, Eric Stokes, you can,
McKinney.
McKinney, these guys, I think they're going to be much better in this man coverage style of defense.
Yeah, and
Ability to
hopefully they
get
don't have
aggressive.
Preston Smith lining up on a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be pulling out my hair, whatever hair I have left. No, it's nice to read. Actually, I was kind of reading some of the articles as far as like Jeff Hafley coming in, and it totally was a mood changer, game changer for Jair Alexander. He actually showed up for whatever offseason programs here in Green Bay, and he has it in the past, probably for his dislike of Joe Barry. It's great to see him actually playing that leader role in the locker room. I just think Halfley is more of a people person. People seem to relate with him, and people that have played for him have said nothing but good things about him. So that's and I think too, getting these safeties instead of seeing Preston Smith playing on a receiver, I think we'll be seeing these safeties. Hopefully, they have some speed to keep up with the receivers as well. Who was your favorite pick of the draft?
This kid that we got out of, I think it was it Cooper DeJean? No, that's right. He went to Philadelphia. There
Javon
was this,
Bullard?
yeah, there was this defensive kid that I really, really liked. I forget I think he was a cornerback, but I forgot his name. And
Was it King from Penn State?
um,
They Javon Bullard was a safety out of Georgia. They got Edgerrin Cooper, linebacker out of Texas A&M.
Cooper was one, but I also like the Marshawn Lloyd pick.
Yes. Yeah, they're saying that he might have been the best running back in the draft.
Tell you the truth, I'm a USC fan. We got a good one.
Yeah.
We got
He's like a younger version of Josh Jacobs. And I think that was done on purpose. I don't think we'll see Jacobs in Green Bay for the full 4 years. I think that we'll eventually replace him with Marshawn Lloyd. Because I mean, some of the videos I watched, like he was catching the ball and he just turned around on a dime and he was gone. He's quick.
He's a really shifty running back. I
Yeah.
loved watching him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to watch this new defense. I like to see the man coverage. I hope we get Eric Stokes back at least 95%, hopefully 100%. I'm excited to see Christian Watson, put the hamstrings injuries behind him. You know what I'm saying?
I hope so.
Because I mean, we didn't really have him full tilt last year, and look what we did with the receivers that we had. Then you go and you add a healthy Christian Watson in there, and you get a healthy Kraft and Musgrave. It's gonna be scary.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see what they can do. Definitely with leaving or continuing what we left off with last year for sure. What do you think was the biggest weakness last year? For me, I thought it was the run defense that killed us.
Believe it or not, I know this is an unpopular opinion. Special teams.
Yeah.
I was telling people all summer, don't take a kicker for granted. Lo and behold,
yeah,
you know how the playoff turned out.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah,
you know how it ended. It still leaves a bitter taste in my mouth.
Yeah, but I look at that and I went back and I compared his percentage his rookie year with Mason Crosby's his rookie year, and Carlson had a better kicking percentage than Crosby did his rookie year. So I don't look too much into that. He's a young kid, he'll get better. And I think bringing in Greg Joseph for competition will make him tighten up his misses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think Carlson's the answer. I just got to he needs to get more confidence, I think, and he'll. But yeah, that kicking can kill us. I can think back to all the times Crosby hit the crossbar and didn't want him on the team, but he's our leading scorer in franchise history. So he was something.
Hmm.
What was our biggest strength last year, do you think?
Our ability to spread the ball around offensively.
Right.
It was just you never knew who was going to pop off one game.
Yeah.
I love how dynamic our offense was.
Yeah, I like how like the defense didn't know where we were going. I mean, we went into Dallas and just punched them in the mouth from the get go. If we
Hmm.
would have kept our starters in that whole game, it would have been an even higher scoring game on our side. But we took them out too early, I think, and they started to come back, and that kind of I'm like, oh my god, here we go again, a big fourth quarter collapse, and I just think having the receivers that are all under rookie contract that have something to prove, that all had Jordan Love's back, and they all came to play. That was awesome. Just to see them all click and all. It's just a fun year to watch. None of the drama with Aaron Rodgers and all that crap, and I think our biggest strength was our offense and being able to spread the ball. That was, you never knew on one, we didn't have Devontae Adams out there where you knew where Aaron was going every single time if he could. He's going to Devontae Adams, and that just, I think, in the long run killed us. But do you think the Packers did enough in free agency with Jacobs and McKinney?
I think we're in good shape. I
Yeah,
think if the one issue that, like you touched on earlier, run defense, if we can just tighten that up just a little bit,
yeah,
we'll be fine.
yeah. I think from reading stories and seeing pictures from the off season, I think we're gonna have Rashawn Gary coming off the edge. He's going to be a defensive end, I think, at times because he's getting down in 3-point stands and like he was at Michigan, and it's just going to make our defense even that much more scarier. That front four and the linebackers is going to be crazy. But McKinney, I still don't see how the Giants let him go.
Me neither.
He's 24 years old. Dude hasn't even hit his prime yet.
That was a gift they gave us.
Yeah, and it's like you get like the Charles Woodson vibes with McKinney coming over. Younger though, a younger player.
Mm.
What do you have? He has nine career interceptions, 6 or 9 interceptions. He has 1 pick six, and you see the chemistry from the videos and the pictures. Like again on Twitter with him and Jair and Jordan Love. I mean, they're all just going to mesh and they're going to be a scary team. I think. I don't think people give them enough credit. And then Josh Jacobs, he's like a younger version of Aaron Jones in my eyes. He's 3 years younger. He can run the ball. He's a hard hitter. He takes contact.
And he stays healthy, which is the bonus.
Yeah, and he's a leader. So you get a leader on the offense in Jacobs. You're replacing a leader in Aaron Jones. You get a leader on defense in McKinney. And then you have Jair and you have Kenny Clark and you have Rashawn Gary. I mean, that defense is stacked. So I think that's going to be a difference maker this year. Who do you think has a breakout year this year?
I mean, if I had to pick, I'm going to go on the offensive end. I'm going to say it's going to be Musgrave.
Yeah.
Musgrave, it's going to be one of the 2 tight ends, Musgrave or Kraft.
Yeah. They're going to be focused so much on covering Wicks and Dobbs and Watson, and you're going to have tight ends right in the flats wide open.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing though about Jacobs that we're going to miss with Aaron Jones, with not having Aaron Jones, is Jacobs has no receiving touchdowns in his career.
Well, we can change that.
We can change that, but that's, hopefully we do change it. And that's just another receiving weapon, All-time favorite Packer?
Rodgers, bar none.
Okay. Is he the one that you grew up watching?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I liked Aaron Rodgers. He brought a lot to the table. He was a good talent. His interception, the touchdown ratio is probably the best you'll ever see in the NFL for a 20-year starter.
The best in
And
franchise history, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I mean, his ratio is just crazy. I just the last few years, he kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know. His last year when he came out after the season was over and said that he was playing with a broken thumb, and it's like if you weren't 100%, why weren't you giving Jordan Love a chance to come in? And you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like I don't know.
I can kind of understand that, but also at the same time, superstars. I mean, this is just in any sport.
Yeah,
When they
I
want to
mean,
play, they want to play. It's hard to hold them back.
yeah, I get it. It's just frustrating. It's more frustrating. I mean, for me, it's in the past. I let it go. But like now that I think about it, we didn't know how Jordan Love was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
If we would have known, fast forward, he would have played like he played last year. I think we would have been. We didn't know how he performed, so we wouldn't know. I can't even go there, I guess, because it happened. It is what it is, and here we are with our next franchise quarterback. So I guess I can't complain.
Nobody can.
If you're going to a game and you're going to go to a tailgate, what items are you bringing?
See, I went to a Bears-Packers game a few years ago, and I didn't get a chance to tailgate. I'll definitely bring some hot dogs. Definitely bring in some. Damn, that's a good question. I mean, any kind of really good meat, like hot dogs, some bratwurst, some. Boy, yes. That is a damn good question.
Just bring everything,
Yeah, like anything
just,
you can think of. I mean, that's hard to answer.
yeah, I'd bring burgers and brats
Yeah, I'm not opposed to a burger either.
and cheese. I have to bring cheese. Just cheese slices for sure because
Fun fact
cheese.
about me, I'm actually lactose intolerant, so I can't eat cheese.
Oh, so there goes one of my questions.
Only exception though, I can't eat pizza though.
Okay. I worked with a guy who was lactose tolerant, and he would order a pizza without the cheese. I was like, well, that's got to be kind of messy, don't you think? I mean, I guess depends on how thick the paste is or the sauce,
Mm-hmm.
But that does sound kind of good though, pizza with no cheese.
I've never really tried it that way.
What is your most memorable Packer game?
Well, when I was on TV on all over the place,
Yeah,
like really going to Soldier Field and actually seeing the team up close and dominate the way they did, it was a beautiful thing.
yeah,
It was beautiful. I mean, from start to finish, I had a smile on my face the whole time.
yeah. You could just tell by the picture. The picture of you is priceless. I mean, just a smile on your face, it just says it all.
Yeah, I don't know if you've
You got
seen
the
the
cheese
picture of
hat
me.
on. You're on your phone. You're smiling. You got Jordan Love's
No, but
mom behind
there's
you.
one that I took it's one that I actually if you go back and look, and I'll send it to you. There's one in the fourth quarter. There's a camera shot of me looking at the scoreboard, and my mom sitting next to me with just this utter look of dejection on her face.
Oh, that's right, because your mom's a Bears fan, right?
Uh-huh.
That's right. Okay, yep. That's
if you go back and find that picture and just look at the just utter dejection and just I wouldn't say devastation on her face.
yeah.
She was looking forward to it all. We were both looking forward to the game all week.
Right.
And I mean,
Yeah.
we were talking trash back and forth nonstop. And then the day of, it was kind of like, well, business as usual.
Yeah, what is it, 10 straight we've won against the Bears?
Yes. And it's about to be 12 this year.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
making
gonna
a
be 12.
proclamation right now. It's gonna be 12.
Yeah. Speaking of what do you think about what's going on down in Chicago with their quarterback situation? I think they're gonna ruin his career too.
I tell you, man. Again, as a USC fan, I think Caleb Williams is a stud.
Okay.
I love the guy.
Yeah.
I just hate who the team he went to.
Right.
That's all.
Do you think the offensive line will protect them?
That's their one. It's always been the one weakness. If they can get that figured out, who knows? But I really don't know. I mean, it's been a pattern for them for
Years?
the last decade plus.
Yeah. I don't know. He's what? He's six.
6'3",
He's six
220,
three.
two
Yeah.
like
No, no, no.
225 or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't really a fan of him. I mean, he did decent things in college, but I wasn't really a fan of him. He just needs to prove it in the NFL before I can give him respect, and he hasn't had a chance to do it yet. So until he does, I'll just keep on, rooting against him, I guess.
Yeah, I'll put it this way: I have respect for Caleb Williams because, like I said, he was from USC, but I hate the team that he's on.
Yeah. I don't see. I don't know. I think Justin Fields I thought was good. He just he was coached terribly, and it's not his fault.
That's what my mom told. That's what my mom tells me. She has the exact same opinion. Coach
He
was
I never really was a fan of quarterbacks out of Ohio State because I'm a Wisconsin Badgers fan. But even beyond that, they've never panned out in the past. You think of Cardale Jones and Troy Smith, and
Terrell Pryor and
Terrell Pryor went to a receiver, and rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins. But they never really amounted to anything really. He was the only one that I was literally like not afraid to play, but like he always had me on edge. He had the height, he had a strong arm, a good arm. He could run the ball, and you just never. He's like a not Lamar
Jackson.
Jackson esque, but he had that potential to be like that. And when they got DJ Moore, and then how they finished last year, and it's like, oh, they can get Marvin Harrison Jr., the Ohio State connection, and then next thing you know, it's like, yeah, they trade. It's like, what? They traded him? Then you knew they were going all in on Caleb Williams. But I mean, I just feel sorry for the guy, and I think he'll do big things in Pittsburgh. I really do. I think he was coached terribly, and it's not his fault. And like you said, it seems to be a pattern in Chicago that they. I mean, I hope Caleb Williams turns out like Jay Cutler.
No, from what because I listen to ESPN Chicago all the time, the flagship station of the Bears. They've been raving about him in OTAs and minicamp. They really do think he's going to pan out. So
yeah, well, they are labeling Justin Fields the king of the North. How long ago? 2 years ago?
Yeah,
they got rid of him. So, that Bears fan base though is crazy. I mean,
I live with one. Not call my mama crazy by any means,
but this I've when I've been in the Chicago area driving through or whatnot, or just hearing some of their sports talk is it's either they're all in or they're totally against them. And when they're all in, you just want to turn the station off. Do you think?
I'm a little different. I'm okay with them, hyping teams up, because then I'm like, okay. Because I'll tell you right now, I don't root for any Chicago teams around here, even though I'm from the area.
Right.
I don't like any of them. They're all terrible.
The last good team from Chicago were the Bulls in the 90s.
Well, the Cubs in 2016.
Yeah. When you've been to Green Bay, correct?
Yes, I have.
So when you hear someone talk about Green Bay, whether it's the Packers or just, hey, I was in Green Bay, like what comes to mind when you think about Green Bay?
It's a small town, I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
But man, during a game day, it is, I can honestly say this, it is the most thrilling experience you'll ever want to have.
For sure.
People had their cars lined up. They'll have the streets blocked off from. I mean, it's a party atmosphere.
Yep.
They do it right up there.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm from the Madison area. My wife is from De Pere, which is, you know where De Pere is. It's if you're on 41 North,
Uh-huh.
it's it's right before those exits for Lambeau Field. So I'm like 10 minutes from Lambeau Field. I remember the first year I was up. It was up in like the fall, October. I was putting on Christmas lights before the snow started flying, and there's a Packers game, and we just moved up here, you know, and uh, I'm up here, up on my roof, putting on Christmas lights, and all of a sudden, the whole house just starts shaking. I'm like looking around. It was the jet flyover went right over my house from the game,
Man,
and that just goosebumps. It was just like, ooh,
yeah.
ooh. And I remember too, other times like when I have 5 kids, so like when they're toddlers or young babies, and the Jets came and did the same thing. They'd take off running, or my cats or my dogs just took off running through the house because it scared them. But I mean, the Packers Hall of Fame, the stadium, the statues outside, the history, just everything about it is just. I mean, even if you're not a fan of the Packers, just the history behind it, you got to appreciate. You know?
My parents and I actually went up for the very first time I went was way back in 2013, the summer of 2013. This was my 8th grade graduation gift. They took me on a we stayed up in Green Bay for 3 days to go to no. What did we do? Yeah, that's right. We went up for a stadium tour.
Yeah.
And we got to see, we actually had to go down on the field, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And we got to see the visitors' locker room, the Hall of Fame. It was a breathtaking experience.
Yeah, when we got married, we had the wedding party, we had the rehearsal dinner back when we got married in 2008. 2007. Okay. Anyway, we'll be 16 years married this year. So when we got married, we had the rehearsal dinner. Back then, it was Curly's Pub, the restaurant inside Lambeau Field.
Mm-hmm.
So we took the whole wedding party and parents and grandparents on a stadium tour. It was at night, and we're walking through the Packers tunnel at night, and we got out to see the stadium, and the fire alarms went off, and in the club seats, the strobe lights from the alarms are going off, and it was just the whole field is just like a big EDM disco party, you know. It was awesome. Wow. But yeah, I could go to Lambeau every day and just walk around and just look at the different things and make a day out of it, you know. That's one thing that I'm fortunate that I'm within 10 minutes from Lambeau Field, so it's.
Well, that's within walking distance for you. Shoot.
Well, I mean, it's driving, 10 minutes driving. I mean, I could walk there, but it'd be a long walk.
Fair enough.
In your opinion, which fans are the most obnoxious?
Okay, can I rank like 5? Because I got 5 off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Cowboys first. Bears second. Vikings third. 49ers fourth. And see, I'm okay with Detroit fans because they ain't had nothing to cheer for in 3 decades. So they okay with me. Patriots fans used to be, but they're not anymore. And I guess it's just those 4.
Not Seahawks?
I don't know too many of them.
I like Bills Mafia. They remind me of Packer fans. Except we don't jump through burning tables. I already asked, do you believe that Marshawn Lloyd will be running back number 2? Do you think he'll beat out A.J. Dillon?
See, I'm trying to figure that scenario out in my head. I'm stunned that we kept A.J. Dillon to begin with.
I'm glad he came back on the cheap. You know,
It's just I don't. I really don't know how that would work. A
they might use
three-back
him as a
system.
fullback.
Mm.
Could you
Yeah,
imagine? Can you imagine having Josh Jacobs as your feature back, and you have AJ Dillon as your fullback?
yeah. That's a yeah. That's a lot to. That's a lot of muscle to try to move. Yeah, that's.
And you've seen AJ Dillon lately, haven't you?
I
He's
don't think I have.
he's uh he's pretty toned. I think he hit the weights pretty hard, and he's looking good.
Hmm. All right then.
So I think they're going to use him as a not full time, but I think they'll put him at fullback positions to be a lead blocker for Jacobs or a pass blocker for Jordan Love. And I just think his veteran leadership. He's a locker room guy. He loves Green Bay. He came back. He came back super cheap. You know,
He's from Door County, is he not?
no, he's just the mayor of Door County. He's from
Ah, okay.
he went to Boston College for college, so I think he might know Heffley too. So
Hmm.
yeah, I like the signing. I had a feeling he'd come back because I remember back when we released Aaron Jones and when we got Josh Jacobs. I'm like, oh, isn't AJ Dillon still out there? He should come back to Green Bay, you know. And a few days later, we signed him, so that was kind of cool. What are your thoughts on the 4-3 defense? Do you think it's going to be more effective than what we ran last year?
Yes. I can't remember the last time they ran 4-3, to be honest with you. It's been years.
Yeah, and I think too, if you have Rashawn Gary on an edge, and you have Devontae Wyatt, then you have Kenny Clark, and you pick somebody, Luke Van Ness, and then you have Quay Walker and McDuff. I mean, whoever. I mean, it's going to be a scary defense. And I think we're going to put linebacker or safeties as linebackers to get to that quarterback and get to him quick. And Edgerrin Cooper is going to do a good job, I think, too. He's going to have a good year. Who do you think is the Packers' biggest rival?
Sorry, y'all, but it's San Francisco.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we haven't beat them in forever, but that team out in the Bay bothers the hell out of me.
Right. I mean, you can't call the Bears a rival because we won 10 straight against them. I mean, you can maybe call the Vikings, but
Detroit maybe.
Detroit might be starting that. I remember for the longest time they didn't beat us in Green Bay like in 20 years, and that they blew us out last year in Green Bay. So yeah, I'd go with San Francisco too because we just seem to we can't get over that hump when we get to when it matters.
But at least they're not like blowout games. It's very close and competitive between the two teams,
Right.
which shows that we're not that far off. We're really not.
No, we're not. And if it wasn't for, I mean,
If it wasn't for the two things, the Darnell Savage drop pick six, the first play of the game, and then of course the Carlson missed kick at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. And I even go back and think about even like Colin Kaepernick. I remember that game he ran all.
I still have nightmares.
Like, no!
Oh Lord.
I just remember he just ran all over us. Got to the point to where the players are getting so pissed off that Clay Matthews hit him way out of bounds and started a scuffle. And
man, I can still see it all to this day. He ran 181 yards on us.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for that.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
And don't even get me started on 21 either.
Yeah, that was
the best. That was perhaps the best defensive game of the Joe Barry era, and we wasted it.
Yeah.
Offense and special teams wasted it, which is shameful.
Yeah. I mean, you can go back in those games against the Niners, and it's just like PTSD,
I still have nightmares about some of those games.
Yeah, I yeah, they seem to keep a place in my heart.
I can see Kaepernick still running past Clay Matthews and our safety. I can still see him running to this day. I think he's still outrunning them now. Ain't nobody stopping him.
Yeah, wasn't it against the Niners where right before halftime, wasn't it Kevin? Was it Kevin King that blew coverage on that receiver that was either a touchdown? Yeah, was it? Wasn't it Kevin King?
Uh, you must be thinking of the Bucks game. No, because
It might have been the Buck. Yeah, I
yeah,
think
it
it
was
was
the
a
Bucks
Bucks
game
game.
you're
The
thinking
Bucks game.
of. Yeah.
I got the color. Okay, yeah. But anyways, he had potential too for the Packers, but he just I don't know. There's a reason why he's not in the league, I guess.
And we passed on TJ Watt.
Yeah,
We passed on him.
yeah. Wisconsin born and
That's
raised.
unforgivable.
Yeah. Some of these, that still to this day bugs the hell out of me because it's like yeah. Oh, and he's doing big things in Pittsburgh, obviously. And what's your favorite sports movie?
Ooh. Okay, The Longest Yard is one. Damn, I used to watch, the ESPN films 30 for 30?
Yep.
I've watched just about every single one of those. There's this one called, what's it called? It's the one Without Bias. It's the documentary about Maryland basketball star Len Bias, who really
Yep.
could have been something. He got drafted to the Boston Celtics the year after they won their title, or the year out the week. Actually, no, the draft that the Celtics won their title, '86. He got drafted, but
Okay.
he never unfortunately got to play for him because unfortunately he passed away a couple of weeks later.
Okay. Yeah.
He had such potential.
Let me see. I got a little comment here about let me comment the guy I had on last week. So remember the Titans is my
I love
favorite.
that movie too.
Yeah. I had Chuck on recently on my show. Great guest. And we have scheduled 3 shows in the future with him too, so it's going good. I liked Hoosiers, The Longest Yard. It's not really a sports movie, but I like the movie Above the Rim with this is going way back with Tupac.
Okay.
And
Now we're talking.
what
Okay.
was he was like he played the role of, like, was it Birdie?
Yeah.
Something like that. And then there's that basketball kid that they show up to the gyms, and that's it's just Tupac's my favorite artist, my music
Come
artist.
on,
So
man. Now we're talking. Now we're
uh,
talking. Come on.
but I like Above the Rim. That's I like that movie. Was it Kevin Watson or Kyle
Yep.
Watson?
Hmm.
Oh yeah, wow, memories. How will the NFC North finish this year, first to last?
Packers fans, forgive me. I have Detroit winning the division. Green Bay is second. Minnesota third. Sorry, Bears fans, you're in the basement again.
You're not sorry.
No, I am not.
Um, I had Green Bay, Detroit, Chicago, Minnesota. I don't know. Chicago, Minnesota's a toss up. Green Bay, Detroit's a toss up too.
Yeah, just I'm just I don't. Yeah, we beat their butts in Detroit on Thanksgiving, which was it was a great game, but they just seem like a well-oiled machine that's been building.
I
And
think Jordan Love's gonna have revenge for not getting his turkey leg.
I think you know how Detroit finished. I think it was like 8-2 in 2022 or something
Yep.
like that. The way we finished last year, I think it's going to carry over to this year. And we're
Yep.
gonna. I think we'll have a Detroit Lions like year where we just, we not necessarily come out of nowhere, but we're gonna win some games that people don't expect us to.
Well, that's the thing too. Is you know they. I know Aaron's your guy, but I think he did audible a lot on what he thought was best when he was out there. Obviously, he has the stats and the record and the career to be forgiven for that. But I think now we actually see what LaFleur was brought in to do and the offense he was meant to run. And I think Aaron was kind of changing the plays in the huddle. And
Well, of course he was stubborn. Shoot.
well, right. I mean, I guess I would be too. It's like, oh, this ain't gonna work. I've been around, 20. Anyways, I think we saw a big glimpse of what LaFleur can do, and everyone's bought into the system. Halfway through the year last year, they bought in, and it paid off. So, yeah, I think it'll be Green Bay, Detroit, Chicago, Minnesota. Just I don't know how McCarthy's gonna fare in Minnesota, and I don't know how Caleb's gonna do in Chicago. So those two are the 2, 3, and 4 flip flop if you want to. But what do you think about McCarthy in Minnesota as far as quarterback?
Give him a chance.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got a team around him,
right.
and I think the NFC North is gonna. It's obviously gonna be. I think it'll be the most competitive division in the league.
Okay.
I mean, it's just taking my bias hat off. Really, honestly, any one of those 4 teams could, barring any health issues, any one of those 4 could really win the division.
Yeah.
They have each team has talent in their own ways, and it's just, I think we'll finally get to see the NFC North be what it should be. It's because people have always said when the NFC North is really doing big things, and it's good for the game. At least that's what I think.
Right. Yeah, I think NFC North is going to be competitive this year. I think the whole NFC is going to be competitive. You got, San Fran's reloading. What's your thought on Devondre Campbell, on what he said when he left Green Bay to the Niners? As far as
I wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. You talking about when he was forced to play through injury?
Forced to play through injury, and that.
Yeah, my thought is, look, if a guy is legitimately hurt, then yeah, you should sit him out. But if a team is forcing a guy to play through injuries, then that's, I mean, that's really, see, we don't know the other side to this,
Right.
and that's really the hard part. It's just, what was the what's the training staff? I mean, obviously they got fired too, but we brought in a whole new staff. But it's just, it really surprised me. Not necessarily what obviously what he said surprised me, but it's just, I get the sense that he was kind of feeling, I want to say, pressured to play from his other teammates and probably the training staff. But it's just, again, we'll never really know unless his former teammates say something.
Right.
It seemed to come out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, he might have said it. I don't know. I thought he was a good fit in Green Bay. It's just sad to see how the terms he left on. He made an impact on the defense, but
I didn't like how he left things, or how things were left with him.
Right. Do you think Love has 35 plus touchdowns this year through the year?
Yes. Next.
You think Jacobs has more than 15 rushing touchdowns?
I'm going to say no on that, actually. I think it'll be a touch below that.
13 to 14?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know because I mean, if he doesn't get 15, then we got him through the air. I'll take it. The score is a score.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you want to see your man Marshawn Lloyd get some touchdowns too, right?
Mm-hmm.
What separates Green Bay from the rest of the league, in your opinion?
Just look at them. Just look at them championship band. Just look at them championship. Look at them Super Bowl trophies we got.
Yeah.
I mean, that puts us pretty much on a. I mean, obviously, you got the Cowboys and the Patriots, right? You got the Patriots right up next to us.
Yep.
But as far as what separates them, I think it's really the community aspect. It's just Green Bay lives, eats, and breathes football.
Yeah.
Packers football, no matter what, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a day that I'm out where I don't see somebody in full out Packers pants, shirt, hat, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and just even like the stadium, it's open, I think, 364 days out of the year. As far as like the pro shop and the Hall of Fame tour and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I think the only thing it shuts down for is like Christmas. I can't remember. It's something like that. But I mean, they're open pretty much 365. I mean, it's just crazy. One of the smallest market teams in all professional sports has one of the biggest followings. That's just
Cool
crazy
to
to think.
see.
Huh?
It's cool to see.
Yeah, it is cool to see that it's owned by the people that that they have a piece of paper saying they paid $250 for a partial a stock or whatever you want to call it, stock sale.
I mean, damn, it only costs that much.
Yeah. Last I knew it was, and it might have been more the next time because I think they had a second stock sale.
Mm.
But it's like, but you take the hundreds of thousands of people that paid that, times it by whatever the amount was, and that's just crazy money.
Yeah.
um, I'm gonna do a couple more questions. This is just a couple life questions, just random ones. And then our next segment that we're doing with James is, I have it written down, is, well, I'll advertise that later. But we're doing a 3-part segment with him. We're doing Packers. I'm going to ask him on this episode Packers. Second episode is going to be just random questions.
Get to know me, and y'all can tweet at. Y'all can tweet.
Yep. Get to know James, and you can tweet at him, or you can tweet at me, and I'll ask him questions. You can ask us questions while we're live on the air. And then the third one is going to be of like a mental health segment. But I'm just going to ask you a few of these questions leading into our next episode, in the future. So I have I'll just do 2, and then we'll let you get on with your weekend. What do people misunderstand about you the most?
Do people misunderstand me about the most? I'll just touch on it for now, and I can go into it a little later.
For sure.
How autism affects me. Because, I mean, obviously, if most people know, I tweet about it all the time. It's just, I've turned myself into, well, not really into an advocate, but it's just, I've made people aware of my specific issue with autism. And it's just, I can tell you right now, I struggle a lot with social life.
Yeah.
That's been my one bugaboo. Even before college, even in high school, I kind of struggled with that. And it's just, I felt so, I mean, not to say that I was misunderstood by people, but it's just something I never really talked about until recently.
And what'd you say, like 2019, 2018?
Yep. 2019, yeah.
Okay.
And the reason why I kept it hidden for so long is because I was embarrassed.
Yeah. And then it's like you have a platform like Twitter or X, or even you got people that support you. They don't care. I mean, they care,
and
but
that's
it's
what
like
that's what
they
really
look at you as
surprised me.
you
That
know.
was the really surprising thing when I publicly revealed my diagnosis. I didn't know how people would react to me.
Yeah.
And it's just the support I've gotten through the years has been just awesome.
Yeah.
And everybody knows who they are.
Yep.
It's,
And you got, I mean, you can't tell me that, or you got Packer fans behind you 100%. I
I
mean,
know I do.
you know that already. I mean,
Yeah.
it's awesome. You know, it's even if you weren't a Packer fan, I'd still support you. So, you know, but the next question or the last question on this show is, what's your favorite childhood memory?
Okay, how much time you got?
Whatever you want.
Yeah. Okay. And this is actually part of the reason why I love Aaron Rodgers too. For as much of the blowback as he's getting for his personal life, he took the time to do something for me that I just even to this, and I wish I could really. I hope I get a chance to run into him one day and thank him for it. But I tell you right now, I was in eighth grade. I had been in and out of the hospital due to a medical issue for quite a while. My former math teacher, who's a big Packers fan, she actually wrote to the or called up the Packers organization. I think it was the general manager or Mark Murphy, one of the two at that time. Got in touch with them and asked them to get in touch with Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers and they told Rodgers my story. They sent back to me this whole Christmas, like this whole Christmas package full of gifts. I got an autographed picture and an autographed card from him that I still got it upstairs in my room to this day.
That's awesome.
And it's something that I didn't expect it, and it was something that really even today still touches my heart.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because honestly, it was just you know how busy pro athletes are. You know they don't really have to take the time to do things, but the fact that he did that for me is it
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah. That's cool. This, yeah, I mean, just to think of like your favorite, you know, he's probably your favorite athlete of all
Him and Kobe
time.
Bryant were are my two favorite athlete. Or
Him and who?
Kobe.
Kobe. Yep.
I want to well, okay, and LeBron too. That's three.
Yeah. No, my favorite's Charles Woodson for sure. He just from watching him in Michigan, even though I'm a huge Badger fan, watching him play for Michigan. I have a Woodson Raiders jersey, I'll admit it. And hold on, I got a little comment here for you.
Never got to see him playing. I never got to see him play when he was with the Raiders, really. How good was he?
He was good. He he went to the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
He was good, but I think he towards the end of his years there, he was getting into trouble out there. I think a little bit with was it Marquise Anderson and him were getting into trouble out there. Former Packer safety.
Yeah.
But when he came to Green Bay, I was just like Christmas time. You know, it was awesome. It was like, yes, my you know my childhood, I guess, idol, whatever, is playing for the Packers, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So, um, well, we'll leave the audience with that, James. I want to thank you for joining me tonight. Really appreciate it. Great stories. Where can
And
people find
there'll
you
be
at?
more coming.
There'll be more coming. It might be more than a 3-part series. Might be a regular maybe on the show.
I'm all for it. Shoot, I got
Yeah.
time on my hands.
Where can people find you at on social media?
Y'all see it. The Twitter's plugged up and it's plugged up right under you. It's at J16James. I'm on Facebook too. I can post my picture and y'all can, if I know you guys, y'all can feel free to send me a friend request. I'm on Instagram at James Jefferson 945. It's all lowercase, by the way. And I do go on TikTok every now and then. I just forgot my username. I'll have to find it.
That's okay. You can tell it on the next episode.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again, and I'll get this uploaded and I'll take you in it right away when I publish it. And have a good night.
Yes, sir. Talk to you. I
Yeah.
think our episode is maybe in 2 weeks from now.
Hold on, let me check. I got my little book right here. I'll look real quick for you. July 5th.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yep.
Yeah, July
So in a
5th.
month.
So about a month out. So we'll see you then, okay, bud?
Yes, sir.
All right, have a good night. Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go.